was like, you realize what that was, right?
Yeah, no, I know.
They were just goosing prices, and then they're like, oh wait, well I guess no one likes it, whatever. And
Does
then
anyone want some like a stick ASIC miners? Yeah.
yeah,
They're like the 3 megahash ones.
are you kidding me? That's like 2 more hashes than I can think of.
Yeah. Okay, we are
That last sentence made absolutely no sense.
Even though you can buy like the 1 gigahash ones now for like $20. It's
Like 5 gigahash.
Yeah.
14 terahash is about 16K.
5 gigahash is nothing. So
You guys sound ridiculous.
you're ridiculous.
You gotta get the terahash. You gotta get.
They don't use the
We're live. Okay.
Speak of normal.
Weird.
It's inverted.
You make sure that you actually can do this
The mining levels already kind
remotely,
of
like you
It's
can.
the opposite.
Sorry, I can't.
Have you seen what happened to Dashcoin?
Yours inverted.
What?
Dashcoin got wrecked.
Why is that?
Because Dashcoin, like, they released, Antminer released an ASIC that would, like, a single ASIC would output more than the entire blockchain was making on average.
There we go. Cool.
I kid you not, like, the whole blockchain was pulling, like, 300, well, not the entire blockchain, but, like, the entire blockchain only got, like, 300 terahash.
Cool.
And those were, like, 15. So, like, they had a payback
Yeah, we
period
can do
of
it before
16
and then
days.
cover it again.
Like, if you
Yeah.
pre-ordered them in July,
I guess there's no
you got
reason
yours
you need to, like,
in September. By October, you would have paid the $4,000 price tag.
Yeah, we can do that.
Holy
Yeah.
fuck. How much did the price drop?
Like it's cold.
Well, it's not, the price didn't drop, difficulty spiked.
Of course, difficulty spiked, but I mean, I figured the price would drop too, since
Yeah, the price of coins
I feel like it's that.
The price, like, it went up and went down, but not any further fluctuations, like, really outside of what it normally does.
Everything.
But just like, everyone that did Dash before then just died.
yeah, I bet that kind of freaking
This isn't gonna make any sense to me.
that kind of mind.
The Antminer S11 was gonna be crazy.
Well, that's the goal. But I do some big data stuff right now. Like at the foundation, we're starting targeted marketing. I'm super excited because like I'm the only one who really cares about that in my group, and like everything, like someone from my group has to be involved in pretty much anything techie, and so they're like, yeah, Kaylee, go do it. So like,
I don't know that what I want to do. Really, with some type of data stuff.
I know what
yeah,
ACM is.
Yeah, ASICs are doing.
that's what I'm going to grad school for. So.
Yeah,
Equihash, that's hash.
and Kryptonite.
Yeah, apparently that's actually not even.
Yeah, is that one
Or
there?
not even like that.
Oh, okay. And there's a new one coming out. Actually,
Oh,
actually. Kryptonite, the algorithm that like spikes the price.
Image.
Is it
I
working?
use nice hash for
What's your,
What?
what's your phone?
Is it working?
Yeah, we're live.
I'm still a big fan of.
What's your,
Equihash.
Yeah, it's
Zcash is the most stable,
or I guess
like,
sorry, colors.
any kind of exchanges it has,
No, no.
like, within like 20% range, like, and that's over like a month.
The color is not from here.
And
Yeah, that
they
should
are
be
pretty
there.
consistent. You actually still can properly see
Should
the
take your
environment.
RGB to 2000.
Yeah, it's just the method document.
I think it's because you're old.
What version of color do you have?
You just got, you just got got. You just got got.
No, I'm not.
What?
I'm 12 in spirit.
I'm
Ask
older.
Kaylee, she knows.
I'm older than
Or in
him.
personality.
I'm older than him. So let's watch the old jokes.
You what?
I'm older than you.
Not you!
Or did you just hear that now?
Yes.
Or did sound travel slower out there or something?
Yes.
Don't you realize in the hallway, sound travels at half its current?
Why don't you guys get your friends to come to meetings?
I brought my friend, he left.
I did bring my friend.
Dude, no, seriously, I did bring my friend. He was in here a second ago. Then he left.
I didn't do that.
Andrew.
I was like, the other friend was too busy playing this game.
What?
I just want to see how quickly I can make $1 million gold. That's all I want in that game. I opened
It
up
takes
a
a
new,
while.
I opened up a new account and I can currently get 16,000 gold in 5 minutes. Once I hit
What?
in RuneScape.
Doing what?
By mining bronze, tin and copper.
That's impressive.
I spent too long optimizing this. It started as a joke and it just snowballed.
Is it a bot or is it?
No, it's like me doing it by hand. Because I'm like doing code over here and I'm like, oh, hey.
We can start whenever.
Okay.
Hello. Glad y'all can make it. How are you doing? Before we start though, we
It's
should
a
do
glorious
something
time.
Yeah, go for it. I'm not really.
All right. Hello. Welcome to tonight's ACM meeting. We're talking big data. Kaylee's putting it on. We're really excited about that. But first, we have a few announcements. Immediately following this meeting, ACMW will be presenting. Hannah, that's you, right? Like you're presenting on cybersecurity.
Yeah, just some basics like why you should care, what it means for you, and how you can kind of protect yourself with it.
So that's really cool. You guys should, if you can, stick around for that as well because it's going to be great. Also, next week, it is next week, right? We have Cisco coming. Yes, that's next week. Cisco's coming to talk about how business needs shape technology, and that's also something that we're really excited about. And then Andrew, you have a really big announcement.
Yeah, so how many of you have ever heard of Major League Hacking? Well, okay, so basically what it is, it's like, they're like think like MLB, but like for hackathons, I guess. So they're having this thing called Local Hack Day, and what it is, it's like all colleges from around the world, they're all going to have one day. It's going to be December 2nd, it's Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. It's a hackathon-like thing where you're going to work on a project and show it off towards the end, but we're also going to have multiple like workshops and stuff throughout the day, and then we're also going to be providing like lunch and dinner, probably like pizza or something. But you should definitely come to that. If you're not on the GroupMe yet, get added to the GroupMe, and I'll be posting a link to the website with all the information on it on there right after this. But you should come to that.
Absolutely. I think that's all the announcements we have. Kaylee,
Right.
Go ahead.
Cool. All right, guys. I don't know if you can tell I'm talking about big data. So let's get started. All right. So big data does not just mean data that is big. I mean, essentially yes, but at the same time, big data is high volume, high velocity, and or high variety information assets that demand cost-effective, innovative forms of information processing that enable enhanced insight decision-making and process automation. That basically says that big data is a lot of different things, and it requires us to come up with solutions to store it, use it. Yeah. So, what do we do with big data? Capture it, store it, analyze it, search it, query it, share it, transfer it, visualize it, update it. So much more. We do a lot of stuff with data, and big data in particular. Someone count how many times I say big data, please. But why? So why is the I don't know where my brain was going. So with the Internet of Things rapidly increasing in size, companies can and do get data from so many sources. And like Mom always said, if you've got data, flaunt it. Okay, not really, but analysis of data allows businesses to make informed business decisions. Okay. So how big are we talking? IBM estimated a couple years ago, so this is a little old, but it's still pretty relevant because over 2.5 quintillion bytes of data per day. That's how much we make. So the thing with big data is storing it. For storing big data, right now, big problem in Silicon Valley is all the, not a problem necessarily, but an issue they're facing is they have these data farms. And actually, Google just opened up one in Piedmont, Pryor, somewhere that starts with a P in Oklahoma. That's just a huge server farm, just to store data. 90% of today's total stored data has been created in the last 2 years. I don't have a big number for that, but that's a lot of data. In the last 2 years, anything that we've stored, we've made in the last 2 years. And by the year 2020, it's projected that we will have created 40 zettabytes of data. That's a lot. So what does data look like? Since big data collections are constantly growing, 90% of generated data is unstructured. So that means like social media, but big data does encompass semi-structured and structured data models as well. So this is a little bit about the forms of data structuring. We've got unstructured data. For unstructured data, it doesn't have a data model, so think of kind of like loosely typed language, actually not even loosely typed languages. This has no type. Typically text heavy, but it can contain anything. So like having that data, how do we use it? How do we process it? How do we store it in a way that makes it easy for us to use and to search, all that stuff. So this is where data mining, natural language processing, and text analytics provide different methods to find patterns in the data. So, okay, so yeah. This is like, so hashtagging, it's kind of like an example of that. Semi-structured data. Semi-structured data is, so XML and JSON are examples of storage of languages that represent forms of semi-structured data. So semi-structured data, they have tags that separate the elements. And they have hierarchy of records, but there's still nothing that says like this has to be a number, this has to be a text field, nothing like that. To get that kind of information, you need structured data. So this is where SQL comes in and big databasing. I didn't really want to go into detail about those too much because it's kind of something easier. So what is making all this data? Social media. Social media is the biggest creator of data. We've also got smart devices and the Internet of Things. So wearables, that's one of them. Your smartphones, your smart refrigerator, your smart TV, whatever. Healthcare data, I put on emails because I really wasn't sure where that fit. But this is enormous, okay? Over 400 million tweets per day. We're storing that data and using it to market to people, to store it, to have it. 330 billion posts on Facebook a month. 216,000 Instagram pictures per minute. 72 hours of footage is uploaded to YouTube per minute. It's a lot. Okay, so characteristics of big data. Volume, velocity, variability, veracity, and variety. I'm kind of going to go over what these mean and why these components characterize big data. So volume. Volume is obviously the quantity generated. That one's a little self-defined. Velocity, how fast we make this data. Variability is the inconsistency in the data that can kind of hamper data analytics. And then we've got veracity. Okay, so actually, this is, variability has to do with the inconsistency when processing it, but veracity has to do with the quality that affects the analysis, which is, it's a little bit different when it comes down to it. So variety. This is the type and nature of the data. So this is whether it's a social media post, whether it's healthcare information, whether it's whatever. So how we use these things to add value. Big data allows us to have the ability to achieve greater value through insights from superior analytics. So basically the idea is the more we collect, the more we know about how to tailor processes to market effectively and efficiently. So we know businesses know they're spending the most money where in the best place. So I'm going to talk a little bit about targeted marketing. This is actually, I'm about to start a project. I work for the OSU Foundation, and I'm about to start a project where we are going to be targeting donors who we feel are the most likely to give via Facebook or email or Twitter, using our posts and how people interact with our posts. So I'm like really interested in this right now. Businesses like Facebook and Google use collected information about your browsing on their sites to tailor ads to you, which I'm sure you all have noticed, and I'll give you an example of that here in a minute. So in some cases, I've been reading a bunch of articles about this right now. There's actually a couple cases where Facebook and Google apps have been accused of listening into your conversations to target ads to you. So like one of my friends had this happen. He's never searched Red Bull, never looked at Red Bull videos, never looked at Red Bull's Facebook page. And you can go back through his history and you can see that. Yet he's been talking about it a lot for some reason, I'm not sure. But Facebook started repeatedly putting Red Bull ads in his feed. Every other post almost was something about Red Bull. And so he's super convinced that this happens. Facebook has denied doing anything of the sort because they just use their data for their purposes, right? So other uses, the internet, or not other uses, but other things we get from big data. So the Internet of Things and IoT work in conjunction. Did I just say the Internet of Things and IoT?
Yes.
Sorry. Internet of Things and big data work in conjunction. So think sensors. So right now, a big thing in healthcare is putting sensors on anything and everything to learn how the environment works and learn how they can best serve people medically, which I think is super interesting. And it's also being adapted in manufacturing contexts as well, how to make the best thing the quickest. What I just said, but with a lot more words. Personalized medicine, prescriptive analytics. Yeah. Well, I'm not super familiar with the healthcare, so. Alright, so useful tools related to big data. There's a lot of them. These are kind of buckets that you could put them into. Storage solution, cleaning solutions, mining solutions, analysis solutions, visualization, integration, and then we've got languages, which is a whole nother bucket. So for data storage, obviously like Hadoop, it's a big one right now. That's open source. Cloudera is the brand name Hadoop. MongoDB is a semi-structured data storage solution. Talend is a data management system. It's a little bit different than MongoDB in that it's more for enterprise, whereas MongoDB is more for personal, meant for personal solutions. So data cleaning, OpenRefine is your open source, and then Data Cleaner is going to be your brand name, which is so aptly named. Data mining, RapidMiner is good. All of these are good for predictive analysis, but RapidMiner is pretty amazing with predictive analysis. IBM and Oracle. IBM is pretty heavy duty. Oracle's great. Teradata is end-to-end solutions, so they've got data storage, but their best field is data mining. Framed Data is a startup. Kaggle is the world's largest data science community, so if you have any questions about data science, Kaggle is the place to go. Data analysis. I can't say this, even if I wanted to. I've heard people say it, but I still can't say it right. Yeah, Qubel. There you go. Enterprise level solution, so bigger companies. BigML simplifies machine learning. StatWing is the quick and easy one to pick up.
Are you implying it's easy to simplify machine learning?
No, I'm just saying it makes it simpler for data science. Data visualization. Tableau, which I'm repping their shirt, focuses on business intelligence. They're kind of the big name right now. And super expensive, yes. Silk is simpler to use than Tableau, but probably cheaper. CartoDB specializes in maps. Chartio is an in-browser solution. Plotly is good for graphs. DataWrapper is open source and it's constantly changing. They have because people add stuff to it all the time. Data integration, Blockspring connects to common services, and Pentaho is an integration service where no coding is required. Not necessarily for us. Data languages, here's where I'm trying to get to. R, statistical analysis. If you'll take the engineering statistics class, you'll kind of have to use R. Python, top 10 most popular languages. PHP for behind the scenes. It's old school C# behind the scenes, but Microsoft. Other places use C# too, but Microsoft's the big one. Regex is string matching. XPath is the query language for XML, and then SQL is the most structured databasing. Not the most, but. So big data in action. I'll show you guys. So I'm gonna use the YouTube, is that okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I forgot about that.
Don't worry, we've got very, very targeted recommendations.
We've got
as of
super targeted recommendations. So
I've actually got a bookmark up there for YouTube if you want.
okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so our good Vice President Andrew.
I wasn't gonna call anyone out. Oh hey.
Wait,
It's
did it?
fine.
Did
We're
it?
fine.
Did
We're
it?
fine.
Okay, so our good Vice President Andrew forgot that he was signed in to the ACM's YouTube.
There we go.
And was rocking out to some Lil Dicky and some Panic at the Disco. Just having a good time. Having a good time.
Andrew, you both wrote sins and tragedies.
Yes. So, and apples. Okay. So, let's see. Watch later. Is this? Let's see. Where could we find it?
What are we looking for?
Where it suggests, like where does it suggest things? Because I know that
On the homepage.
it definitely does. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I mean the recommended stuff.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, like we've got At Home with Panic at the Disco.
Yeah, here we go. At Home with Panic at the Disco. I'm sure this is something that Brendan Urie has done something with. Yeah, so it's everywhere. We should have watched some more Panic at the Disco. Yeah. Oh, okay, I bet. Yeah. Anime. There we go. This is Gospel Without Music. Yeah. Yeah. So this is targeted marketing. This is big data. So they're using tags, or just like the phrase "Panic at the Disco" to suggest things. The dystopian. I'm sure they share some tags. They're using those to target and try to suggest things. Like I know whenever I really don't want to pull up my Facebook. That was the original plan, but then I thought through that. I don't watch weird things on Facebook, but I've been really into watching. Do you guys know Liza the Viner lately? Okay, so now she has a YouTube channel because Vine is dead. And I've been watching her videos, and they always come up, and I'm just like, this is kind of funny. I'm just gonna stay and watch it, and then literally every video after that, it's all Liza. So it may not be super apparent, but yeah, okay, that was really fast, and I'm sorry.
I had the same situation with the SpongeBob representing X memes.
Well, it doesn't just affect you; it affects everyone around you.
Let's see. Well, that's still switching.
Actually, that's so true. Like, we'll be watching videos in the apartment on someone else's laptop, and then all of a sudden, like, those videos kind of start, like, showing up in my recommendations. But, like, what's up?
What it is like, the way Google does it, it actually associates your watch feeds as well as your locations reported, like, through network-wise.
Huh.
So it kind of can pick out your friends, or at least the people you're close to a lot of. And a lot of times you will see overlap between the two.
Interesting.
There are TVs will play ultrasonic noises that your phone can pick up if you're on Facebook, and so then Facebook knows, hey, this is your TV and you're watching this show. They play like the ultrasonic noises during like commercials and stuff.
So I have 3 recommendations on my YouTube. It's those 3. It's their fault.
Yes.
It's all.
And it couldn't possibly be the other way around. But this whole meet your stalker thing, like, this is terrifying. Like, I don't know if you've seen the examples.
Because we don't have a bunch of rules against this because they put it in their privacy statements and we sign our lives away or else we can't use the service. And we like a bunch of people don't realize what they're signing when they say accept.
Have you seen the stories about like the targeted marketing where it's like you'll have like there have been women who have reported like all of a sudden start getting like pregnancy related advertisements
From,
like
Target.
maternity
That
dresses.
was from Target.
Was
so
it?
Target used credit card information to track women in a certain age range, and then they would start mailing them like coupons for diapers and baby things, like, hey, have a baby, have a baby, have a baby, have a baby.
Well, but it was like even before they knew they were pregnant. Like they were pregnant, they just didn't know it, and it's like
it was really creepy just because the things that Target had found that like pregnant women bought before they started buying baby things, they recognized that trend and they latched.
Yeah, I was like, when you have a data set of millions of people, it's actually relatively easy to see some really like large
common trends. Yeah.
Oh, this one person's cutting a large supply of chocolate.
They have it right on the nose.
Yes. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see this go to a much more, yes.
Did Dr. Bergman ever smack you around for saying data?
No. No.
He would smack me around.
I say data and I say data, so.
It's big data.
What's wrong with data?
Data is wrong.
I say data. Who says data is wrong?
I do. Obviously, my opinion is the only one that matters. Not fine.
And I have a
I
nice
personally would argue that like
video.
we should just replace the word
for
data with
us.
SQL.
It's
SQL's not a word.
It's just a little short.
Interested in most phases of data processing.
Can we hear it?
Interested in most phases of data
Yes, we
processing.
can.
Interested in most.
What
phases
is
of
going
data
on in
processing.
this?
So sad. Have you guys seen the 80s? It's like a throwback, like 80s.
Interested in most
video
phases of data
dating.
processing.
And,
Interested in most phases of data processing. Interested in most
This guy
phases of
says,
data processing.
I'm really
Interested in most phases of data
I'm
processing.
interested in most
Interested in
phases
most
of data
interested in most phases of data processing. 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 Interested in most phases of data processing.
I'm interested in
most phases of data processing. Interested in most phases of data processing. Interested in most phases of data processing. Interested in most
You know what? We
phases
just
of
need
data
to
processing.
loop this forever.
Interested in most phases of data processing. Interested in most phases of data processing.
Yeah.
Interested in most phases of data processing. Interested in most phases of data.
It was.
I'm impressed.
There are so many big data memes.
Here we are.
Thank
so
you.
many.
There we go.
Right. Unless we have pretty big people.
There you go.
Pretty
So
big
anyone have
data.
questions? I'm not an expert on the topic, but I tried to make myself as expertable as I could. That's a word, right?
So, for those of us who are like in our position as like a college student, right? Like, what are the best ways for us to get involved in big data?
So companies are looking for people who know how to do data analytics right now. It's a really big and growing field, obviously, because 2.5 quintillion, whatever's a day. So, know those. I don't know how to. Those programs that I used or that I listed, look into those. I know that here at OSU, the MIS department has classes, and I'm plugging the wrong department, I'm aware, but they have classes over that study data analytics and study targeted marketing and study all of these kinds of things. So as students, I think taking a class maybe to see if it's something you're actually interested in. I found out I was interested because I work at a job that uses a lot of data. So yeah. Yes.
Is there like how much CS is there? Data?
So there's actually not a lot of CS in it. It's a lot of, well, there's not a lot of CS in the side that I want to do. I don't really know about other sides. Obviously there's the part of like making all these programs and all that stuff. I'm sure that's huge, but the actual being a data analyst or a data scientist, it's more about looking at trends and knowing, being able to analyze the data, but but yeah, I'm sorry, that's not helpful. But yeah, anybody else?
So have you taken any of the MIS classes in data science?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm not the best person for this topic, probably, but
Well, I just wonder. I just have wondered.
That's what I'm doing.
Classes. I mean, I know they do SAS programming, and I know they do like some R, I think. But that's about all I know about it.
That's what I'm doing, that program in grad school.
Okay.
So, yeah, what's up?
I actually have a question, but you said big data only 13 times.
Man, I was really going for more than that.
You said data like
Okay.
70.
Sorry.
Well,
Playing the drinking game. Big data.
There's so many big data memes. If you ever want to like laugh, go look at big data memes. They crack me up. Maybe it's just me though.
Is there a lot of Star Trek references?
Yeah, I like it when you call me big data. And then there's the Inigo Montoya one. You keep saying big data, but I don't think you know what that means. You keep using that phrase, but I don't think you know what it means. Yeah. Alright, so I went through that super quick. But
Yeah, you did.
Tape drive is the worst.
I'm sorry. I actually have a lot of other stuff. Not that this was not a priority, but I do have a lot of other things I also have to
It's
do.
okay, it was very good.
Thanks.
We can just run through it again
It
from
was
the top if you want.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I have time. I only took half of the meeting, so we could do it again, but I just would rather.
You could do it, but not take it seriously
Yeah.
this time around.
But yeah, no.
Yes.
Again,
Advanced memetics.
it's only in my presenter notes, so I can see it. But I'll go back and put in the links where I found this stuff, like the articles that I read for this. I didn't put them on here just so it wouldn't be like, oh, link, because, yeah.
The Prezi is linked on our GitHub. If you go to github.com/OKStateACM and click meeting notes, then click 2017-2018, then click fall 2017.
Or you can just find it from the meeting notes repository in the README. There's a link to it.
Yeah. Go to this semester, then scroll down. You'll see a link to today's Prezi. Yeah, so thank you, Kaylee. Yeah, round of applause for Kaylee. I guess, kind of, while I've got you guys here, a captive audience that's not so captive, recently the officers have started trying to put together plans for next semester, and we want to make sure we have you guys' input on that. We want to know what kind of things you want to see, what you want to talk about and do. So if you have feedback for us, please let us know. One of the things that we do plan to be trying much more often is code labs. So our technical focused meetings will, instead of being more on some broad subject, they'll more be focused on, like, here's a project we're going to be doing. So that's something that we're interested in as well. So if you do have ideas for things that we could do, or if you want to volunteer your expertise, we want to hear it. So if you guys have any suggestions, feel free to voice them.
No one's leading the stream until they come up with suggestions.
Artificial neural
We'll
networks.
get better at.
Artificial neural networks, okay.
Designing.
What do you mean?
Period.
Designing, as in...
I know networks that are
Design.
fake.
Period.
Okay, that's incredibly vague. Like, designing what?
It could be using an existing tool.
Anything.
Like,
Something.
It makes sense up until the part
You asked me
where
for a
it's-
suggestion. You
Like,
didn't say a
what?
good suggestion.
Well, this is bad.
Thank you,
Gacy. Although now everybody's like, neural networks.
So I forgot to mention in the announcing of the local hack day thing, but there is going to be a bunch of like free stuff from like GitHub.
Free stuff?
Yes.
From GitHub, yeah.
Yes, from GitHub. I'm not sure exactly how much. Like, it's being mailed to me, but I don't know.
December 9th Or sorry, December 2nd
It's the
from 9
Saturday-
to 9.
It's the Saturday right before Dead Week, so you're not gonna have any homework. So if you say you can't go to the gas station, I know you're lying.
Is that the official name of it? Dead Week?
This graph is actually comparing the growth in Bitcoin to the whole.
I have all of the homework on Dead Week.
Mm.
I have all.
Bitcoin was a negative number.
No, the rule is they can't assign anything new. It has if it's on the syllabus, it's fine.
Well, you should come anyway. Just for your
Yeah.
homework.
I think this actually is a good spot trend in the actual itself.
I had a professor who assigned a group project during Dead Week. Assigned it during Dead Week.
What do you mean by
I thought
assigned
it-
during Dead Week?
I thought it was okay because I thought it was instead of our final exam. 'Cause that's what he made it sound like. So we all our hearts into it, and then the last Friday of the semester, we had our exam, and I'm like, why?
I can take care
It was
of
years
it.
ago.
Okay.
And he's a good guy, so I didn't
I
report
think
it.
this is a pretty way to actually project growth in the market itself. Because what it does is that accounts for whenever Bitcoin drops, there are people just like, oh, I'm going to sell out to Ethereum. It's going to jump back up. But I think actually this number being greater.
I was talking to Michael about maybe doing a dual thing between the ACM and the BGBC, doing a game jam for next semester, and kind of having both sides come together and do like a cooperative effort on it.
Okay.
And he's still trying to get in touch with Jason Gregory, so we can work out that thing, maybe do it, I think he was saying like maybe around like, maybe around the mid, like March, April, somewhere in there. Not 100% sure, but he was, he's still emailing, so I'll
Okay.
get that or
We said we'd be willing to help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Help advertise.
So what are these?
Yeah, there'll be a lot of stuff.
I know we talked about not wanting to do a game jam this week, but it's not like our ball game is big.